Hey there, food fans. Welcome back to the Food for ThoughtCast with me, your host, Melissa Reagan. My guest today is Michele DiMeo, the Restaurant Diva. How are you, Michele?
I'm great. Thank you for having me on. This is so exciting.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Tell us where you're joining us from today.
I'm in Annapolis, Maryland. Sunny Annapolis. It's not raining. That's good. We've had horrible weather, so it's good to be a nice day and not hot and humid.
I'll trade you. The heat index here yesterday was 115.
Oh, perfect. No. Today, believe it or not, the first thing, all right, here I'm digressing already.
No,
we start the show. So today's the first day of school here in Anne Arundel County in Maryland. And the first thing my daughter woke up and she's like, is it warm? Is it cold? It's fall, right? Because school's starting. And I'm like, it's not fall, it's summer. But today the weather's beautiful. I was shocked. I had to put a coat on this morning. So it's cool here, which is nice.
Stop. It's not fair.
Yeah, that's okay. I love the hot weather, but not the humid. So.
Not the humid. I just moved back to Dallas from Raleigh, North Carolina. So it was very cool over there, but very, very sticky. Now it's dry and hot.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen any rain in the past 30 days.
Well, you know what? You'll appreciate that when I'm in December in snow. I'm going to think of you in the warm weather. So
I'll appreciate it. I had to buy a snow shovel for the first time ever in my whole life last year. In all places, North Carolina, because they had like some freak weather event. Wow. I was like, I don't know how to use this. Thanks.
Well, we get lots of practice.
Indeed. Well, Michele, every week I ask my guests, what was the most amazing thing you ate this week? I won't put you in the hot seat unless you have something ready to go.
So, it's funny. I thought about it, and for me, it's not about food and amazing food. I think it's about the experience. We've owned restaurants for years and years and years. And I had a guest that came in and she said to me, I asked her this question and she said to me, I eat atmosphere. I don't eat food. It's about the experience, the atmosphere, because if it's not a good atmosphere, then the food's kind of boring anyway and bland. But if it's an amazing atmosphere and great service, the food's just extra and it's good, right? So I had to think about it because we eat out all the time. Our restaurants are our kitchen. We don't really cook at home unless it's a holiday. So I was like, okay, what was the last time I had an amazing experience? And we travel every summer. And we just got back from London and we went to a really cool restaurant called Sexy Fish.
Okay.
And it was super cool. It was super vibey. It was a seafood kind of sushi restaurant, but they had like a DJ and it was great energy and great vibes and the service was great. So I'm going to rank that up as my good, amazing, I don't want to say food, but amazing experience.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. It's such a great perspective to bring to the conversation, right? Because I will often tell people one of my favorite restaurants here in Dallas is Good Friends Burger Bar. It 100% qualifies as a dive bar. It's got stuff all over the walls. Everybody knows your name when you're in there. All the regulars know
each other. It's like Cheers.
But exactly. But the service is unrivaled. And the experience is what makes it. And the food is from scratch. So, is it Michelin star haute cuisine? No. Would I put it right up there with any other restaurant in the city? Yes. So
yeah. It's funny you say that because everybody's always like, oh my God, we got to go to this Michelin star restaurant. First off, my husband and my partner in our restaurant business, I don't want to say hates going to Michelin star. That's really bad. But he shies away from it just because we go and it's like this long drawn out experience. And then he leaves and he's always like, all right, we got to get a burger. I'm starving, because you go through all the process. But I will tell you, there's one restaurant that I love. I don't know if you get down to DC a lot. But there is a restaurant in DC that is super cool, brings the experience, brings the food. It's called Pineapple and Pearls, and I love it.
Wow.
It is a Michelin star restaurant, but it brings the experience. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you a secret for everybody listening. Close your ears for a second, because I'm giving away the chef's secret. But at the end, they leave with this really cool like black box lined in gold. And we got home and we opened it up. We're like, oh, they're probably sending us home from, with these stupid pastries or whatever. And it was a gold crusted hamburger. And my husband was like, this is the bomb. Because, you leave a Michelin star restaurant and you're starving and everybody goes, let's go get a burger. Well, they send you home with a burger.
That's incredible.
So fun, right?
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Well, thanks for the inside there.
Yeah,
I've been to DC twice in my life, and they were both very, very short visits. So I know that the culinary scene there is thriving. I have to go. It's definitely on the list. But yeah, before you go to a fancy restaurant, you always have to pregame with something else.
Which is bad because you're spending so much money and you're pre-gaming. And then, so I'm all about the experience. So we're foodies, we own restaurants, and we love to try different places, but it is about the experience. It's what, you got to put it all together. It's not just the food, because you can have a great meal and have a horrible experience. And then it's kind of whatever at that point.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think on some level you're paying for the experience, right? But then it all depends on like, what's the end game there? Is it just that I need to be satiated, or is it really that I'm like eating with my eyes and listening with my ears, and like, am I with other people? Like, I think that's such a great point. I've really had some amazing experiences doing, like eating a tasting menu. But I do remember like also not being full. So I think there's both sides there, right?
I'm married to an Italian that like, I mean,
so when you want to eat, it's time to eat.
He wants to eat. Like yesterday, he was like, it's Sunday. He's like, we got to go have Italian food. He ate a huge bowl of pasta. So like giving him little bits and pieces at a Michelin. I mean, even like his birthday, I brought him to like 11 Madison and we left and he was like, eh. So he doesn't even like, I can't even get him to appreciate the, the true Michelin experience.
Oh, that's too funny.
So. Yeah.
I never did tell you what I ate though. Oops, sorry.
I was gonna say, what's your experience?
I had a really amazing wedge salad with Korean chicken tenders added to it. Like they were tossed.
Oh, that's like cool.
Spicy gochujang barbecue sauce, and it was this just big fresh wedge salad, big crispy bacon, and really nice tomatoes and good blue cheese. And you can't beat it. So good.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you said that because we just opened a new concept. It's called Vivi's Chicken and Mac. So we're in the Italian industry. We've been for a very long time, 30 plus years. And my husband had this epiphany like a couple of years ago, and he's like, "We got to open chicken. We got to get in the chicken business." And we make one of the best mac and cheese ever. And we named it after our daughter, Vivi. She's 7. Aww. And we have 2 of them now. And we make some killer chicken. Like, you got to check out Vivi's Chicken and Mac. You'll see the pictures and you'll say, all right, I need to check out those chicken tenders. So we're in the chicken business. So it's good to hear that you had some good chicken tenders. Not everybody makes good chicken. Like, they have to brine it. They got to, it's great to have a conversation with somebody that gets it. Like, you're in the chef, you're on the line, you get it, right? Yeah. So not everybody appreciates, a good chicken tender.
Is it a triple bread or is it a batter?
So we actually do it ourselves. So we brine it, we batter it, we bread it, we deep fry it. So we do the whole thing. Like, we don't buy pre-made chicken. We have proprietary like spices, breading. We do the whole thing.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it was like a wet batter, you know what I mean? Or like a dry, wet, dry. But brining. Well,
we do wet, dry. Yeah. We do both.
Yeah. Brining's really the key. And honestly, like, I think with the way the beef industry is heading, chicken's the future, man. Unfortunately, like for cost and access. Like,
yeah, but you know what? Chicken's been funny too over the last 2 years. I mean, chicken wings went crazy. I mean, it was like buying gold, chicken wings at one point. But it's getting better. Especially when you deal with like random chicken breasts, like, you get different sizes. I mean, one of the things that we've been really lucky with, we work directly with a chicken supplier now. So we're trying to get all the chicken breasts the same size. I mean, because you know how it is. You order chicken breast and you get one that's like this big, and then you get one that's this big. And, it's hard to put together a profile for a sandwich or a salad if they're all different sizes. So 100%. Look, we're digressing. We're talking chicken now.
You're totally fine. No, we talk about everything on this podcast. We talk about food. We talk about all of it. It's funny because I know that a lot of people out there, they're not going to understand. I mean, clearly, if you've ever raised a chicken, no 2 are the same size, but it's so hard in the industry, and that cost is passed on to us. Like, it's really hard to get, if you think about it, a case of 46-ounce boneless, skinless chicken breasts that are all the same size and consistent, so that every guest can have the same experience in your property, right? Rather than walking into a grocery store and you get like those are probably randoms, but they even cut them to fit that container. So it's like, It's a lot. It's a lot. And people don't realize like that's all the cost associated with it is just kind of getting the specialty items. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's true.
crazy.
It's true. And, when you're dealing with food costs and you're dealing with putting together menu engineering, like you have to look at all those things because, especially now as you start to franchise and you start to grow, people do things off of weight. So if you're looking at things that are weighted and you're charging X per pound and then one's little and one's big, you run into those problems of food costs. So,
and what do you do if you don't have a cross menu utilization? Like if you get a chicken breast that's too small and it doesn't fit for your sandwich, what do you do with that? Do you just eat the cost? Because you can't, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not using it for nuggets or tenders or something down the line, or you're not willing to use it in a special, and if your menu doesn't work that way, then it's just waste. And
yeah, we're lucky though. We do use it for the little nuggets because we actually break them down and we do catering. So
I love that.
But,
super smart. Well, Michele, I just need to understand how you became the Restaurant Diva. Tell me the story.
It's funny you asked that because the person who gave me that name, so I do a podcast as well, which I started a year ago, and every week my show comes out. And this week I'm actually interviewing, I've known him for many years. His name is Damon Feldman, and he's the founder of Celebrity Boxing. And he's actually going to be a guest on my show on Thursday. I mean, we've been friends for so long, and I literally texted him and I said, Damon, everybody always asks me every week how I become the Restaurant Diva. And I'm like, you've never been on my show. So he's actually coming on my show this week. But years ago, we had opened a restaurant in Florida, and Damon was getting ready to launch his Fort Lauderdale franchise. And he said, hey, would you do I guess they do before they go on boxing, they do these head to heads, kind of to, I'm going to get you. Like they do these, they put the two guys in each other's faces. And he said, hey, do you want to host this for me? Cause we had this big, beautiful restaurant in Fort Lauderdale. And on the second floor, we had this big room. So he said, hey, let's do the weigh-in at your restaurant. And I said, sure, I'd be happy to. It'd be fun, right? So we started talking, and he's like, oh, you have this big personality. You're doing all these things. You have the show. You have these restaurants. And he's like, God, you really are the Restaurant Diva, aren't you? And I was like, you know what? I've been trying to protect my brand. I have so many things going on. And I looked at him. I was like, you know what? I need to protect that. I'm like, that's the name. That's the name of the company. That's the name of the brand. So that stuck. And it's been almost 9 years. It became my trademark, my name. I've done magazines, PR, TV, motivational speaking, and the Restaurant Diva spoke. And now it's restaurantdiva.com, Dine Dish. I mean, I'm like you, I
love that.
Jack of all trades. Actually, Jill of all trades.
I love that.
So Damon gave me the name, and it's 9 years later, I'm still the Restaurant Diva.
So is hospitality always what you wanted to do, or
no?
How'd you get into it?
No, no, not at all.
No, not at all.
So I started back in retail years and years ago. And I was an executive with weight loss, and I helped thousands and thousands of people lose weight. I spoke health and weight and diet and exercise for years and years and years. I mean, I opened hundreds of stores, actually almost 1,000 stores with this company. And I took a buyout at one point. I wound up leaving and got into what I went to school for, accounting resource services and accounting and law.
Yeah.
And I worked for a big regional accounting company for a few years doing accounting resource services, and brought people in, and we staffed throughout. I ran almost the whole country. We had 129 offices, and we staffed a big four accounting firm. Long story short, I met my husband over 20 years ago. He was the restaurateur. We actually are doing a reality show, and they asked me the same question, and I turned and I said, I married the restaurateur, because that's what I did. And, it was over 20 years ago. And he was at that point where it was we called them the chair. You think of a chair, it has 4 legs, right?
Right.
They had 3 legs. They had the builder, they had the chef, and they had the restaurateur, but they didn't have the operations, the business mind, mm-hmm. right? And that was me. I was the business mind. I was the operations, the accounting, the legal, commercial real estate. I did all that. So I wound up taking a buyout from the firm. I was traveling all over the place. I lived on planes, trains, and automobiles 5 days a week. And I said, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. My kids were small. I got up on a Monday. I left at 6:20, got on the Excella. I mean, it's bad when you have the cell phones of the conductors and I'm like, I'm running late. Hold the train. Like, that's really bad. I'm not even lying. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. Like, between trains, and then I would go to Delaware, then I would go to New York, and then I would fly to the airport, and I go to Seattle, and then back. I mean, I was all over the place.
A lot.
And, Janara and I decided, you know what? Maybe I should start working with them. And I kind of did it as a part-time stint originally, as I was deciding what I wanted to do with my next part of my life. And here I am 21 years later, still sitting in the chair running our company. So we own full service, fast casual. I think at one point we had almost 30 restaurants. I mean, we've been in the restaurant business. My husband's been in it for 35 plus years. He came here at 15, didn't speak a word of English, from Italy, and decided he was going to find the American dream. And he had a relative here that was in the business and started opening restaurants. He opened them, he closed them, he opened them, he closed them,
Sure.
Learned his way, and then started building our company of what it is today. And him and I have been building it together since, for 20 years.
Aw, I love it. I love to hear that. Longevity in our brand, or, in our business, is just almost unheard of. Like,
rare, right?
It's you're like kind of the 7-year, you've got to get into a restaurant. The lease will kill you if other things don't happen first. And it's just, restaurants are just something that exists against all odds. There's so many variables. And it's so volatile, but I'd love to hear that success story, and that's amazing.
Yeah, and it's a husband and wife that work together, and we haven't killed each other yet.
Right, right.
That's the second question I get. How'd you get into the business, and you work with your husband? Oh my God!
Straight out
I do.
Straight out of culinary school, I worked for. I did an externship for a really small cafe in the middle of nowhere in the country in Texas, and it was Greek and Cajun. And it was family owned, and all the drama existed that they say exists in a family owned place. And that was it. I mean, I think I was there for maybe 6 months, and I was like, yeah, bye guys. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. We have a little bit of drama. I mean, there's always drama. It's the restaurant business, right? I mean, look, I've been writing a book for 6 years. Okay. So I'm not going to say I'm writing a book, because I've written the book. I just have to take the time to actually put it together and publish it and get it out there. But if you saw some of the stories, you would say, my God. But we've had our share of stories. Look, you have those years that it's like growing years, and you open all these restaurants and things are so good. And then you have these other years where you're like, oh my God, like, great. I used to say it all the time, like every gray hair was a restaurant, because it was like, oh my God, here's another one. I need more paint, because it's like the stress, I mean, the business, it's very volatile, and, 80% don't make it. And for us to be independent restaurateurs 30 plus years and still be doing this, I mean, we're lucky, not wood, right?
It's just a special kind of stress, right? Like, there are other high stress industries out there. There's engineering, there's IT, there's the finance world, there's all of it, right?
Yeah.
But there's something different about restaurant stress, and honestly, I think everywhere is going to have its drama, right? Every single workplace is going to have its drama, and I've never worked in the business with somebody that I was related to, but I just imagine it feels a bit more personal. When you still have to see that person outside of work. I couldn't imagine. So I commend you both on being able to be, to successfully do that, and to be still going strong in both areas. Right. And then I just want to say too, to me, there's nothing more encouraging than I love that somebody was able to come to America and really get that American dream, because sometimes it just feels like it's really not available anymore. So I love hearing that. I just think that's incredible. And that really means the food's good too. So I said what I said.
That's one thing, and I don't want to say hey, I'm going to pat myself on the back, but our food is just the food that my husband creates, and the menus he creates. I mean, he truly is really talented when it comes to, the restaurant piece of it, and it's funny, what really works for us, he is truly the back, he creates the menus. He has look, I know them too. I mean, I help with them, and, in terms of ingredients and different recipes, but I mean, that's his strength. He puts together the kitchens and the design of the kitchen and the line. And I mean, it's hard to do. Whereas I'm the front, I'm the hostess with the mostest. I work the door. I know how to run the floor. I know how to set up and hire, and I do all the wine list and the bar. And so we have and then on the operations, and I do all the commercial real estate because I also have my commercial real estate license. So I do all the leases and LOIs. So we have such a cool mix because he's out in the field and I'm in the office, or, if I'm in the front, he's in the back. So we're not really, even though we work together, we don't step on each other's toes because where he's strong, it's not mine. And where I'm strong, it's not his. So, I mean, I think we've learned together, how to make it work.
That's like the strength of a really well thought out partnership, right? You're deferring to him in the culinary things, and he like understands the places where you have, all the bandwidth and all the knowledge. And instead of you guys like constantly like this, not stepping on each other's toes, like let each other thrive in the place where you are strong. Right.
Yeah.
I worked in places in the past where there's pastry chefs in the building. I never went and tried to tell them how to do their job. I don't bake. I don't.
Yeah.
It's too tedious.
I don't bake either.
I got taught to cook with a handful of this and until it looks like that. And that doesn't work in baking. It's a science. And I don't have the patience for it. So I let those dudes do their thing. And I don't want to be in it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, let me
I love that you said that because everybody always says to me, like, I can cook. Okay. When I cook, I can cook. But I can't even make a cookie because I can't look at a recipe and say, oh my God, you need like if it's not exact, the thing falls or it doesn't rise, or like, I don't have the patience for that. Like when I cook, I'm like, oh, this kind of looks like it would go. And I start throwing stuff in. And I mean, I'm not a recipe girl. So I love that you say that because baking and pastries are not my thing. My thing. A
recipe is a guideline. So the things that I can bake well have a very standard base. And I know that I can play with it without messing it up. Like I make a really great muffin, but it's really forgiving, right? Like I make a really great sugar-free, it's super forgiving. And I know if I'm in the mood for, if I want it to be like Nutella and Heath Bar one day, and I want it to be like cranberry white chocolate the next day, I know I can play. And I know enough about the science because of the foundation of my knowledge, but I'm never going to go be like, I'm a pastry chef. Just like I wouldn't be, I'm a finance person because I'm not. Because I'm not. But it takes, I think, a lot of the times people they'll watch the Food Network, or they're going to go into their favorite restaurant, or, you've got the folks out there, they might bring something amazing to a dinner party and somebody in their family goes, you should open a restaurant. But those people have no idea the business side, like what it really takes to make it run. Margins, food costs, OS&E, all the things, right? Like it just takes so much that people don't know about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's so true because, I've actually had friends where that happened where, you're a good restaurateur when you make things look easy.
Sure.
And I guess we made it look very easy and they decided, oh, well, we want to buy franchise. And we said, sure. And we started the whole franchising piece. And then they thought, well, I guess maybe we can do it ourselves and we don't have to pay the royalties and do the franchise. Well, they didn't even make it 6 weeks. And, it's really sad because, perfect example, pizza and pizza dough. I'll give you a quick story. I get a call on like a Thursday at 6:00 and they're like, hey, can we like borrow pizza dough from you? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Because you can't just make pizza dough and make a pizza. Like, it's got a proof and you got to roll, like it's the whole process, right? And they ran out of pizza dough because, it's the whole process. Like you have to know the timing and how to order and the inventory.
It has to ferment. It starts with the right kind of flour. It has to start with the right kind of water. The person making it has to have the right hand, like it's all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Opening a restaurant definitely takes a talent. And
otherwise anybody can do it.
Or stay out of the business. It's the first thing I tell people at a discovery day. I ask them, why do you want to be in the restaurant business? And when they ask me any advice, I say, don't get in the restaurant business. Like, it's easier to take your money and dump it down the toilet and flush it because you'll lose it quicker than and less torture. Because if you don't know what you're doing and you don't have the right operations and systems, it's chaos. You're going to lose your money and you're going to close. Yep. I mean, I hate to say it that way because I'm probably like, for everybody listening, I'm not like, telling you not to do it. And I don't want to deter you from your dreams. But if you are going to do it, you have to do it with the right partners. You need to have the right chef. You need to have the right operations. You need to have the right systems. And you need to have somebody behind you that has done it and is successful. Because if you're going to just try and wing it, you're screwed.
It's not just what you know, truly. Like it's who you know. And you have to be, you have to have the right relationships and kind of the right support. It's funny. So along the way in my career, I've had cooks ask me, chef, why does it look so easy when you do it? Like, how do you do it so fast? How do you, I'll be showing them something on the line, or I'll be doing something. And I go, well, because I've done it 500 times, and 480 of those 500 times, there was the time the power went out. There was the time I came into my day off to do it because somebody had the flu. There was the time that the gas went out. There was the time that the flat top broke. There was the time that we didn't get XYZ and I had to figure it out on the fly.
Or the time the health department walks in at 9:00 on a Saturday night and shuts down your entire kitchen.
Yes. There was the time that, the health department walked in and the ice machine was down, a dish machine was down, and 3 people called out and the order is still sitting on the floor. You have to convince them that it's still 40 degrees. Like, I had to do all that while orders were coming in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or there was a time I was working for Perry's Steakhouse and we had a ceiling leak during a rainstorm. We had to keep going and keep the food safe, right? Keep the people safe and keep the food safe. Like, it's just insane. It's not because I did it 500 times in a row and it was easy and perfect and I had everything I needed. It's because I learned how to pivot and I learned, and somebody had the patience to show me, you know what I mean? All throughout my career, it's like nothing happens by accident, right? It's just,
you got to learn all the tricks of the trade. That's for sure. I mean, I'm sure you probably have the same stories I do. One Saturday, I forget, it was a Saturday. I think it was a Saturday night. We had 300 and some covers sitting down. I mean, we were packed. We had a line, an hour wait at the door, and the fire department comes running in because they heard an alarm somewhere in the kitchen. I mean, there was fire trucks and there was probably at least 10 of them going through. And of course, as soon as you're dining in a nice restaurant and you see firemen running through, what do? Everybody's like, oh my God, is there a fire? And we're like, no, it's fine. Calm down. I mean, they're like, oh, the alarm's going off in the kitchen, the hood's, and I'm like,
the hood set it off. It was some dumb thing.
It was some stupid thing. And I was like, can you please go through the back door? You have to go through the front door. I mean, there's a line out the door. It was, typical. It's anything they can do to make drama, and it's a reality show. Just film the drama, put it on TikTok. Everybody that's TikToking.
You got to keep life interesting. It would be boring, I guess, otherwise. So since you got into hospitality, would you say that you have any culinary heroes? Is there anybody else that you kind of looked up to? Did you have a mentor along the way? Since it wasn't your first choice of business, was there anybody that just really showed you the way?
Yeah. So that's an interesting question because I think the culinary heroes are people like you and I. I really look up to us, the independent restaurateurs, people that can stay in this business 30 years. I look up to my chefs that work for us, the people that are on the line. I mean, you remember on a Saturday night, we're busy as hell. The owner's not doing anything. I'm at front. I shouldn't say that. I work the front. I'm at the door. I see people. I'm running the floor. I'm picking stuff up. I'm the heat and the beat of the restaurant. But the people that I truly respect, the heroes to me, are the ones that are slaving. Like on a Saturday night when you have to pump out food for 400, 500, 600 people, and it's a hot ass. I mean, you know how it is. It's hot. It's stressful. We have 2 lines running. You have a back line for all the party rooms, and then you have a front line for the, just the restaurant itself. And they keep the heat going, and there's not any long waits. And, for me, that's a culinary hero. It's not these celebrity chefs, because celebrity chefs aren't behind the line running it. They have people they're teaching to be behind the line. So for me, it's truly about the independent restaurateurs and the people that continue to keep the mom and pop shops open and shopping local, because hospitality is about you and me, it's like these big conglomerates keep opening, and these big companies, and they have thousands of stores, and they lose that one-on-one experience. I mean, those are the people that are not coming in and having the proposals and anniversaries. And, I've seen so many cool things through the years where I've helped people propose, and I've had baby reveals and, so many different things that, for me, that's the culinary hero. It's like my husband coming with nothing, not even a dime to his name, didn't speak a word English, and came here and built a restaurant empire. Like, those are culinary heroes. You don't hear those stories. You only hear I opened here and I had nothing and now I'm $1 billion evaluation. I mean, to me, that's not a hero. That's, I don't want to say luck, but that's a little bit of luck. They might have had the same cards that you and I are dealt, but they had a little bit more luck. Now they're worth $1 billion. But the independent restaurateurs truly are my culinary heroes. They're the hard workers. They're the ones that keep our jobs alive.
I love it. Yeah, I am apt to agree with you. I grew up watching the Food Network and Lifetime before Bobby Flay was on the Food Network, before the Food Network was a thing. And I certainly had the people on the TV that I thought, wow, I really want to do that. But it wasn't until I went to a tasting at a restaurant in Boston that had a female executive chef who had started out as a dishwasher, and that I understood, like, oh, I can do that. Oh, there's other women doing, like, okay, that's what I want to do. And she came out with a signed menu, and they gave us truffles, and it was like probably the fanciest meal I'd ever eaten at that point in my life. And I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I want to do. It just cemented it. But it was fun. It's fun to watch the other folks on TV, kind of see the other half. It's all for show, right? It's all shows for show. They don't have the stand and stir programming anymore. Like all those, it's all reality competition stuff. So I think, to me, it's like less fun because there's less art and creativity in it. You're not getting to know somebody and their story, but that's really what hospitality is, right? Is like welcoming other people into your space and creating that experience for them. Like that hospitality itself is such an old idea that we have as human beings, right? But I think it's also pretty fun to like get to do it as a business. You know what I mean? Like people ask me, like, do you cook? I'm like, not often, but I teach other people how to be really good at it. And I teach people how to run businesses, and I teach people how to understand how the business works so that they can mentor people. And I think like one of my favorite things about the way the industry is now, and you can tell me what your take is on this, but I really think it's a kinder, gentler industry since COVID. I think a lot of the toxicity is gone. I'm not going to say it's all the problems are solved, but man, I really enjoy putting my head on my pillow at night and going like, I took care of somebody today, and it just didn't used to be that way. I don't know if your experience was the same, especially being a woman in this business.
Yeah. COVID changed. It's funny because every show, when I do my show, we always talk, COVID and AI always come up, always, because those two things, like COVID changed the industry and now AI is changing the industry, right? Yep. So COVID, I think, made people respect and understand how much they love going out and how much they love experiences and hospitality and restaurants, because they had to stay home for so long and cook themselves and have zero experiences. And I think they got sick of it. Like instead of having groceries delivered to their house and having to cook, and I think a lot of people really took it for advantage for so long, where it was like, oh, I can go out anytime. And then the COVID happened and they couldn't go out. So, COVID changed how people viewed restaurants. And I think, like you said, it did get softer because everybody at one point was a chef, was a reviewer, a TikToker. They would write horrible reviews. Everybody would come in and everybody was a critic, right? I think since COVID, it was softer. It was easier. People were a little bit more forgiving in the restaurants. They saw how hard people were working. They respect it more. And now you get into AI, and AI is changing how every business reacts, except they can't change hospitality. Yeah, you could put a robot in to cook. You could put a robot in to take an order. You could take a robot in to answer a phone to make a reservation, but they can't take away that experience of true hospitality. I mean, like you said, hospitality is about inviting somebody to your home. I always say in my restaurant that you're inviting somebody into my home, my restaurant. So how you treat them is how you want to be treated. Yeah. So you want them to feel like an invited guest, not an unexpected stranger. So we take that mentality in our restaurants that when you come in, I want that first impression to be so lasting that I'm inviting you in, I'm sitting you down, that fond hello and that fond farewell, and that's so important to me because that sets the tone of the dining experience from beginning to end. So it doesn't matter, what they're eating, but they can say, God, I felt so good there. Like they really cared about me. They listened to me. They knew what my needs were, even my servers, what do you want? What's the special? Do you want me to, suggest a wine or a pairing? Like our business is so unique because we have the chance to be a part of everybody's lives. Like, what are you celebrating? What are you doing? Is it a graduation or I've seen people, I mean, this is no lie. I have a friend. I met her at one of our first restaurants that we opened in the mall. Her daughter was in a car seat. Okay. A car seat. She was 6 months old. She's now going to be 16 going to high school. It was her first day of high school today. And she posted a picture. And I literally said, I remember when you brought her in and she was in a car seat sitting on my bar. And I met her in my restaurant and we stayed connected 16 years.
That's
so
what it's about.
It's what it's about. And my closest friends, some of them started as customers and guests in my restaurant. You know what I mean? So our business is so unique, and I feel so lucky to be able to still be in this industry and be able to do it, you know? So I think there's been a huge shift. I mean, I agree with you. It's definitely softer. And I really think people just enjoy it more. They enjoy getting out, and it's not just about a special occasion, you know, it's about getting out and just sharing time with people you love and your friends and your family. And, you know,
yeah. And I think, you know, I think the flip side of that is I find that it's almost harder to staff now. And I don't see that in my space, but I see that like where I went out to eat dinner with a dear friend on Thursday, and she was laughing, and she was behind me at the table. I was like, what are you laughing at? She's like, I forgot how it feels to go out to eat with you because you're you. And I was like, I was like,
you're you.
so what led to this interaction was I could tell that nobody knew we'd sat. And there's something about if you make eye contact with me and you go, I'll be right there. We're really busy. Sorry, whatever. Welcome in. Be right there. You know, sorry for the wait or whatever. That's gold. I'll add $20, right? But if you ignore me, like, no. And what happened was they had a new server. They triple sat his section and nobody was helping him. And I turned around and made eye contact with the first person who walked out of the kitchen. I gave him like the mom look, like just the silent, just the eyes, like the murder eyes. And the guy was like, oh God. And like, he came over, he's like, is everything okay? I was like, no, we haven't been greeted. I don't have any water. Like, nobody knows we're here. He was like, oh God. And then all of a sudden here comes all the orchestra of all the people. Right. And I'm like, and I was explaining to my friend, I'm like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I know what good service is. And I'm not saying I do everything perfect all the time, but man, there's something about making somebody feel seen and known that is the biggest part of hospitality. That welcome, if you miss it, you can't get it back.
You're done. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't.
You know, and I'll go there again. It's been in my hometown for probably longer than I've been alive. It's really good Tex-Mex food, but I'm like, yeah, you forgot how it was to go out to somebody who's going to advocate for you to get good service, because I just won't accept, like, you know, I'm just not going to do it. Well, you brought up AI. Like, what do you think the future is of AI, you know, in our business? Because I think it's, you know, they can try to put a robot on the line, but because I think it's a glorified vending machine. There's some you can't replace, like the heart of it.
You mean you don't like the robotic arms that can flip pizzas and burgers?
No.
It's ridiculous.
It's so dumb.
It is dumb. So AI, I use AI. I use AI for a lot of things, okay? Sure. On the business side. It's great for menu engineering. It's great for helping with food costs. It's great to let's back up. You need to know how to program AI. So for everybody listening, if you don't know how to program it, you do not how to train it, then it's like opening a restaurant. It will be a nightmare, and then it will become your worst nightmare, because then it will become the bad lawyer, the bad accountant, the bad operations manager. Right. So if you do know how to use it, and you know how to use it well, you know how to train it, it can be a very good tool for a restaurateur, because it can help you with your food cost, your payroll. I mean, we use it on a weekly basis. We've trained it to import numbers from our POS and be able to put it together for sales and franchise fees. And so there's menu engineering and being able to break down a menu into like
that's what I want AI
control
to do, not make art.
Well, and it can't. There's no way AI is ever going to be able to replace you or I in terms of creating a dish, bringing it to the table, giving that true hospitality that people expect in a restaurant, right? But doesn't mean you can't use it. So I just think for me, AI and hospitality have to be able to work together. So hospitality can use AI to make it easier, but it shouldn't use AI to replace hospitality. So that's how I think AI should be used. Now, what happens and how we use it, maybe we become the Jetsons and it's a whole different thing. I don't know. I hope I'm not going to see that in my life, because that takes away what I love about our industry.
I mean, I just want it to fold my clothes so I can spend more time at the restaurant. Like that's
that you can probably do.
I want it to be like Rosie, but like less snarky. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just, So I know that there's a little bit of fear. There's a little bit of apprehension especially in our industry, but worldwide, because it's a really powerful tool. And obviously you don't want the wrong people feeding it the wrong information, but like, I use it. I'm wordy, believe it or not, as I like to sit in front of a microphone every once in a while. It just makes my emails more concise, so I don't sound like such a blabbering idiot. It goes, "Are you sure you don't need 50 words to say this? It would sound better with these 5."
Instead of 350.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, fine, have it your way.
Yeah.
I'm really charming in person, though. So.
Yeah. Well, I love that you asked that, because, I'm putting my podcast host question on, and that's the first thing I say is, what do you think about AI? And, I always say Jetsons and The Simpsons, they kind of saw what was coming. So if we continue to watch their episodes, maybe we'll know more about what's coming in the future, because somebody knew it.
Yeah.
But I just hope that truly it's used as tools and not to replace us. And I don't think it will. I say it every week. I really don't think it can replace hospitality, because nobody's going to go to a Michelin star restaurant or even Cheers, like the bar. You want to sit down and talk to a bartender and have a really cool craft cocktail and talk to your friends. I really don't think you're going to have a robot or a screen. Like now you go to the casino, instead of going and playing blackjack, you have like the woman behind the screen that's like, have you ever seen those, where it's an actual TV and they're like, ooh, like this pretty woman that's like the dealer and she's like interacting with you. I'm like, that is weird. Like, if you're going to a casino to sit at a table, you want to play at the table. You don't want to play with some hypothetical like AI computer in a screen, or you can sit home and do it at home. So that's kind of how I feel about the restaurant business.
Yeah. Even the smaller restaurants that I've been to in smaller cities, they're even starting to use like the robot that'll bring the food out. It has like a little
box,
cat face or whatever. Or it's like it has like a couple shelves or something. But I can't smile at that. I can't ask that how its day was. You know what I mean? Like that's what I like.
Weird.
I love that interaction piece. But yeah,
it's weird though, isn't it? A little weird.
It is weird. One of the things I think that's not being utilized by restaurants, in a way that it could be, is the saving of payment information. So like, I noticed the other day, I went to go pick up a prescription and they asked me if I had a card on file. If you were a regular somewhere and you could just have your debit card on file and you could just be like, I'm going to tip 25% and they could just automate, I think that'd be amazing. Imagine the turn time. You know what I mean? Like, imagine turning that table. I mean, there's QR, there's toast, there's all the things, but I think like one extra step. I don't know what kind of cloud capability you would need, or kind of like what the safety.
What about I was going to say, what about all the compliance, credit card compliance stuff? Something hacks it and then they start running charges, and then they call the restaurant and say, oh, Melissa, your restaurant just had 15 whatever fraudulent credit cards. And then it turns into a nightmare. And
like, I wonder if the restaurant people can talk to like Walgreens and see like, well, how do you guys keep this safe? Because if it's just like one extra layer of data protection, just imagine, I find that, the idea of that to kind of be like a luxury amenity. Like, oh, did you pay the bill? Yeah, they have our card on file. Oh, amazing. It's really a loop, right? Way, way, way back in the day. We think about like the times where there was the general store mercantile and you had a tab, well, we got away from that. Everything's a single transaction now. You can just go get your like flour, sugar, beans, grain, whatever, add it to my tab. I'll pay at the end of the week. Well, now we have more choices than ever, but they're all single transactions. So it is something I think is interesting. Something to
talk maybe to come back. I mean, they do have the ability to do it, because I mean, think about when you sit at a bar, you open a tab. So there 100%. Are ways to create tabs, and then we also have on account. So, you have companies, like even corporate companies, that will come into the restaurant and they'll order and then they'll charge it to their own account. And then the end of the month, you bill them. So there are ways to do it. I guess you just have
what does that look like for the casual consumer? You know what I mean? So,
exactly.
I don't know. Maybe it's saving, I don't know, a whole minute and a half at the end of a meal, but then you don't have to worry about, maybe you choose the gratuity from an app or something like that. And then you don't have to worry about, I lost the signed copy of the chit. I don't know. Something I was thinking about the other day. Maybe you'll be the one who figures out how to do it, and you'll be like,
I'll have the $1 billion evaluation next year, and we'll do this podcast. And
you just give me a shout out. You can just give me a shout out, but you take it and run with it.
Okay, sounds good.
So
I'm on it.
So for somebody that wasn't in like I knew I wanted to be a chef from the time I was like 7. So for somebody like yourself who found the hospitality industry a little bit later, like what keeps you passionate about food? What is it? What is it that drives that you want to wake up and excited to do this every single day? Like, how do you stave off burnout?
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you asked me that because so we're getting ready to relocate to New Jersey and we're moving our home and we're moving our headquarters. And so in the last 2 years, we've sold off our full service restaurants and kept all of our fast casual. So we still have all of our Squisito and Vivi's Chicken and Mac, and my husband has one in Florida. And so everything that is fast casual and pizza shops and chicken, we kept because they're very easy to run. You don't need to be on top of them and in them. And the full service are the harder ones. So obviously we sold them. And every week I look at my husband and I'm like, God, we got to open another full service restaurant. And when we were selling them, I was like, oh God, I'm going to have my life back. I don't have so much time. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Now I'm looking for places to open up full service restaurants. And he's like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I got the virus. I got the bug because now I'm like addicted to it. And I mean, I love full service. I mean, fast casual is cool. It's our livelihood. It operates by, we have a district manager, like it's our thing, right? It makes us, but full service is my passion. Like I love being at the front door. I love working the board. I love working the floor. I mean, certain restaurants that I would work in from even holidays, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, Christmas, New Year's, putting together the big parties and the energy. And I mean, that's my thing. And it's like, what's passionate about what's keeping me going? I'm dying not having it, So so we're literally talking about, we're looking for locations now. Do we buy a location? Do we rent something? Cause we're kind of in this weird kind of gray area because we're not moving till next year, but it takes a good 7, 8, 9 months to build something, right? And then we build it and we want to be here to run it and get it launched. So we're like, do we open in Jersey? Do we open in Maryland? We're kind of like in that hiatus. And I'm like, God, we got to open something because I'm like dying. So what keeps me passionate are the people, the chefs, the guests, the holidays, the experience. I mean, I'm the experienced person. So I'm going to tell you that 100 times. Like, I love that. For me, I don't want to say I'm not a foodie because I'm in the restaurant business. I am a foodie. I like good food, but that's not what keeps me there. Yeah. Like, it's not the food. I know you being a chef, you're going to be like, I love the dish. I love the food. For me, I'm the front, right? Like, I love the decor and the design. And
I flipped that switch though. Like after so many years in the business, people go like, what do you cook when you get off work? I'm like, bowl of cereal because I don't want to. I love, but that switch flipped for me as well. Like I got into the business because I like to eat and I like to cook. I still like doing those things. But for me, it's about the people. It's about the people. It's about
me too.
Teaching that line cook that, that maybe got into our business by accident, who's never cooked before. Maybe they only worked at McDonald's, like pulling them along, right? Getting them up the ladder, right? Like showing them how to grow, how to manage a station. And then that becomes how to manage other people and like how to really see all the parts of a business. Like nothing makes my heart happier than like mentoring somebody and seeing them succeed. And at the end of the day, I've been working in a concept now that the menu doesn't change. And people go like, oh, don't you get tired of like not being able to be creative? I'm like, no. Creatively solving people problems is way more work than creating a special every day. Like that's where I like to use my brain power. And if I can bring compassion into that, professionalism, leadership, all that, that's what really like keeps me going.
Amen, sister. So, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
It's all about hospitality. Like I'm right there with you. Yeah. I mean, I'm not creating menus. I'm not creating specials. I mean, I love to do, I love to be involved when they ask me, hey, what do you think of this? Or, get behind the bar and create cocktails for different, events and putting together the wine menu. I'm all for that, but I'm all about the people. Give me my peeps. I love it. I love hiring them, training them, working side by side with them, watching them do well. I mean, hospitality is what people remember, it's so, It's the passion. It gets in you. I always say like, oh, you're crazy with me because it's the crazies. I call them the crazies. If you like hospitality, something's wrong with you because you're a glutton for punishment.
We're all just a little bit broken, but like in a really good way. It's like the idea of the Japanese pottery where it gets cracked and they fill the cracks in with gold and then it becomes something even more beautiful. Like that's the kind of broken. That's what I think about. But
Agree.
if somebody invited you to a fancy dinner party and asked you to bring your specialty, like what would it be? What is it? What's the go-to wow 'em dish? Like knock your socks off.
That I would cook or that I would bring from the restaurant?
No, either one. That's okay. Hey, use your resources.
You know what? So every year, so I don't do any cooking on a regular basis because I mean, we have all the restaurants and we always bring stuff home and it's so much easier because you know how it is. Like by the time you go and you grocery shop and you start cooking and you prep and blah, 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 it turns into a forever hours and hours. And I love the event. So like every holiday I go above and beyond. I have a theme. I decorate. Every theme matches. So like last year I did Chinese New Year. I did it was pretty cool. I did Year of the Snake and I took all the furniture out of one room and I decorated and I had lanterns hanging. Like I really go all out like every year. And then the other year was Clue and we did a whole Clue theme. So for me, it depends on the theme. And I'm a big over the top. So we just did at our beach house, we just had all the family over and we did homemade pizzas. Like everybody did their own topics. And we did like my husband made the true wood fire pizzas with the wood in the oven. And then we did all of our favorites. Like my kids love my string beans that I make and we did our Brussels sprouts. And but I would probably say the two dishes that everybody loves that I make my mom's brisket that is like butter. It cooks for hours and hours and hours and you could take a fork and it's like the best. And everybody it's in the oven and everybody calls me for the recipe. And I'm like, I can't even give you the recipe because I put so much stuff on it that by the time it's done, but I did where was I in Italy? I forget what country I was in. And my daughter called me on FaceTime so I could help her make it because that's how good it is. And my mother's meatballs. So my mom passed away of ovarian cancer and she left me with a few of her recipes. And those are the two that no matter what we do, whatever event we have, everybody says you have to make Grammy's meatballs and Grammy's brisket. And it's actually going in my book. I'm doing a book and I hope I have it done by Christmas. The book is done. I wrote the book, but I'm doing a play on a cookbook, but it's not really a cookbook. And what I did was I took each chapter of the stories and I paired it with the recipes of my life that match the stories. And that's the part that I am dragging my feet a little bit on.
My
filling in is the recipes.
My grandma used to sit and read her cookbooks like they were novels. Like she would thumb through them. She liked to read the stories and
that's what my book is.
Very,
it's all the
very
stories.
Down for that. Well, okay. Can you tease us with a title or too soon?
So I have a title.
Is it secret?
So no. So we've played around with the name a few different ways, but I think what's going to stick is come for the stories, stay for the recipes, or come for the recipes, stay for the stories. We're playing with that title, becoming the Restaurant Diva.
The cannoli gun. Cannoli in the gun. Yeah,
exactly. So we're playing around with the recipes. So I'm working with the artist that's doing my cover and we're playing around with stories and recipes. And that's kind of what's sticking is, come for the stories, stay for the recipes, or come for the recipes, stay for the stories. So it will be on that level, depending on how it falls in. But we're almost there. I mean, the writing itself is done. It's been done. So now I just have to put the recipes and the pictures in. I keep saying this Christmas, but I did write my first children's book last year and it's out. It's the Little Restaurant Diva. You can buy it on Amazon. And it's going to be a series of children's books about what it means to be a true diva. Is not about being bougie and having materialistic items, but it's about teaching confidence. And it's for little girls that want to be entrepreneurs and be leaders. And it's about how to be really good people. And it's my first book. It's on Amazon if you want to read it, or ebook, whatever. It's short. It's for ages 6 to 8, whatever. But it's about entrepreneurship and women leadership.
32 years too late.
Well, I can make you a diva now.
I could be an owner now.
You could be an older restaurant diva. But so that was one. And it was funny because I was writing the book and I'm like, God, I got to get my book out. And I've always wanted to write a children's book. And I was like, there's so much easier to write and publish. So I'm just going to knock that one out. So I did that last year and I put off my big book. Yeah.
Aww.
So hopefully I'll get my book done this year. I'm going to. I'm not going to say hopefully. I'm going to do it. Because if I do it, then I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, we're putting out in the universe right now. We're setting
we're
setting the intentions. Well, I can't wait to grab both. I'm super excited about this. I love that. Man, like what an inspiring story. I'm so glad that we got to chat today. You give me hope for the future of hospitality. It's just incredible to talk to somebody that's, it's fun to find a like-minded folk. You know what I mean? Like it's so inspiring just to meet a like mind, sometimes in our brand, because a little bit of competition can get in the way sometimes. We all have to make money, we all have to make the business run. But honestly, when you start reaching across the lanes and you start reaching out and collaborating, like that's really when things get exciting. And that's where I find like a lot of fulfillment. So this was amazing. This was amazing.
Yeah. And that's why I started Dine Dish, my podcast, for the same reason. I started a year and a half ago, which I can't even believe it's been that long. And I did it as like a little fun project because I love to talk to people and bring amazing guests on the show. And it's turned into so much more. I've met so many amazing people. I agree with everything you said. It's just nice to connect with like-minded people that love what they do and love to share their stories and share their secrets and have a little bit of fun. And, in the beginning, it was like, oh my God, I can't find guests. Now I'm booked out like 3 and 4 months and I have people emailing me. I have a country singer that's coming on that's been in the hospitality industry. He was from Nashville and now he's in Vegas. And I'm like, how did you hear about just the strangest kind of guest? And I get these emails and I'm like, yes, bring them on. I love it. Love the stories.
I get a lot of the same. I was telling somebody about a year ago, like, they're like, where do you find all these people? I'm like, they find me and I don't know how and I don't know why, but some of the connections I've been able to make and, connecting people with people they need to know and like then helping both of their businesses grow. Like, I'm just like, I love that. I feel kind of like a career matchmaker in a way. And I started this as a hobby and really never expected it to take off. But if anything, it's just been a really incredible experience for me, like getting to meet so many amazing people. So, if that's all
to talk.
Yeah. If that's all it comes of it. Yeah. And I love to gab. So here we are. So,
Me too.
Hey, where can the listeners find you online?
So you can go to restaurantdiva.com. That's my page that has all my brands, my contact information. And then if you want to listen to the podcast or be a guest, you can go to dinedishpodcast.com and on Instagram, Restaurant Diva and Michele DiMeo on LinkedIn. So I'm out there. You can find me.
Awesome. And then where, what states are the restaurants in? Like, where can we go try?
So we're based out of Annapolis, Maryland, but we have locations in Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and soon New Jersey. And we're getting ready to launch a big franchise initiative with Vivi's Chicken and Mac. So we'll be coming to your neighborhood soon.
Hopefully everywhere. Well, is there anything near Norfolk? I'll be there in October.
Lorton would be the closest, but that's not, I don't know. How far is Norfolk from Lorton?
I'm down for a road trip, whatever it is.
Okay. Well, when you're down, call. You're not that far. So we should definitely hook up anyway. It'd be cool to meet, like not just on Zoom, but like face to face.
I know,
break bread, as they say, or 100%. Drink wine, whatever.
Yes.
Whatever works.
I'm down for all the things. Well, I wish you nothing but success with the upcoming book. I'm going to have to go grab the children's book. I can't wait. Maybe
it's cute. You'll love it.
Maybe I can get you to sign one for me.
I would love to.
And then, you'll have to keep me and the podcast posted on the next adventure, I shall say, in New Jersey.
I will. And you got to come on my show now so I can pick your brain.
Indeed. Well, Michele, it's been a blast. And for the Food for ThoughtCast, I'm Melissa. Have a wonderful day. Stay on for just a moment. But for now, for the podcast, we say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Ciao.